Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna add another episode to the There's More to Share series where I'm going to basically be talking about anything that is not makeup skincare related. Today we're gonna be talking about books. I'm gonna tell you how I got into reading, what changes I've noticed since I've started reading books, and how I still manage to read while still having a job and also doing Instagram content full time, things like that. To get you to watch till the end, these are all the books I'm gonna be talking about towards the end of the video, as in it's probably gonna be the middle of the video, but yeah, so stay tuned till that. Before we go on, if you like my videos, please consider subscribing. If you don't, that's also fine, but yeah, please do. Okay, how I got into reading. So I never used to be a reader. I always thought that I just was not the type to enjoy reading. I think it was because I was reading the wrong kind of books, and I had a different opinion about what books did for you. So initially I got into reading firstly because of my friend Vaishnavi, who's actually been on this channel, so I'm sure you would know her if you have been around for a while. So yeah, I got into reading because of her, because she generally reads a lot, or used to read a lot, and now maybe, I don't know if she still does, but yeah, she has a huge collection of books in her house, and I just got inspired. I also had another friend in college who read a lot, and I just saw both of them and I was like, I should try this. I initially thought that I would only enjoy reading non-fiction books, so that's all I ever read. And at least that got me into the habit of reading. I wouldn't even say it's a habit, but it just made me realize that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And then over the years, as I kept reading, I realized that I actually kind of enjoy fiction as well. So yeah, now I've gotten to the place where I like reading a mixture of fiction and non-fiction. Non-fiction just takes a bit more time for me to read, and also I like to break up non-fiction books into different parts so that I can read it in a more digestible manner. Because I feel like with nonfiction, I want to remember what I'm reading, and that's my issue. Because if I'm reading a nonfiction book, I want to make notes, but that's not really practical. So then I end up reading fiction because it's easier to read. So that's on how I got into reading, and now I'm gonna talk about what inspires me to keep reading, because since I started, I've kind of just developed this relationship that I will read whenever I find the time, especially when I'm on flights, especially if I feel really overwhelmed by the digital world and I just need to switch off. I like reading a book these days, especially right before I go to bed. Yeah, so that transition kind of happened especially recently because I found certain areas on the internet that made me excited about reading books. One big thing was watching other YouTubers who recommend books and talk about the books that they read, and they kind of give you a summary of the book as well, so that you can decipher for yourself if you actually want to read the book or not. So that is a big one. I also really like reading reviews of certain books, and I do that from Goodreads. I have a Goodreads account, and I started this years ago, but I still maintain that. I still go on it every now and then. I go back to a favorite book of mine and see similar books that other people have read, and then kind of read the synopsis of that book and see if I want to give that a go. And then one big rule I have is that if I try reading a book for and I get to 100 pages, 150 pages, and I still don't like it and I still don't vibe with it, then I just DNF that book. Do not finish that book. Yeah. And one good way to do that is to read them as ebooks before committing to buying the physical book. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about what changes I've noticed since starting to read. I feel like one big thing has definitely been patience because you really have to train yourself to be patient enough to read the whole book, and it does take a lot of time, right? So you need to commit to the book, and I feel like that teaches you to just be patient with the plot line, the story. It's kind of slow consumption of content, because books are also a form of content, but they are just a slow form of content. So you have to be slow with it, and you have to really savor it. Now I want to address the topic of how I manage reading between my work, Instagram content job, and other life things. I feel like I do not stress myself out to read every day. That's a big thing. Like, I do not tell myself, okay, every day I have to read 10 pages, because it's not practical to my lifestyle. I instead, every 1 week or every 2 weeks or once in a month or something like that, whenever time permits, and also I feel so like stimulated, like overstimulated, that I just feel the need to switch off from social media or just not watch anything on Netflix, or alternatively sometimes I just don't find anything interesting to watch on Netflix, then I default to books. And once I get into the book, it's easy for me to want to finish the book because it's interesting and it's caught my attention. So that's my other rule, that I do not try to force myself to read every single day. I just do it when time allows, and when I feel like I need it. Now on to the main topic of the video, which is talking about the books I've read recently. Oh my god, I almost dropped it. So I've read like 5 books recently. This is the one I'm currently reading. First, the book I'm going to recommend highly of all the books that I've read so far is this one. I'm sure you've seen it if you're on my Instagram. This is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I'm not gonna go into the synopsis and things like that, because I believe we are all intelligent individuals that can just go on Google and find the synopsis and read the blurb. So this basically is like a romantic thriller, and it's unlike any other book I've read, and it just threw my mind for a loop, and I had to finish the whole book in one weekend. So this book is like 11 on 10 for me. The next one I read is Sally Rooney's Conversations with Friends. This one is also 11 on 10 for me. It's kind of like a story that's very low-key. It's very chill, it's very relatable. You will find yourself very much relating to the protagonist of the book. Yeah, and it's very digestible. It makes you feel like understood. At least for me, I really felt like this book was just talking to parts of my soul that I had just not realized were there, or realized were there but not given much attention to. I don't know if you know what I mean. Then I read this classic because I had it in my collection for so long, and I know one of my friends, Karishma, really likes this book, and so I wanted to give it a go. This is Thousand Splendid Suns from by Khalid, I don't know, Hosseini. I'm really bad at this, but yeah, this one is really depressing. Trigger warning of all sorts if you're gonna read this book. It's really depressing, but it's also very, I think, a realistic story of genuinely what life is like for some women, especially in India or like third world countries, or in the context of this book, a war-stricken country. I just feel like it's a very heavy book, and if you can handle that, then read it, because it's quite a nice story, but it's not like I would reach for this books of all the books I have. 10. Okay, then I read Exit West. This is by Mohsin Hamid. I don't know, but this book involves a lot of traveling to different places through like a portal of some sort. It's really weird. I can't even explain the premise of this book properly. And I really did not enjoy it. This is like a 1 on 10, but I still persevered and skimmed and scanned through the book because I wanted to get it off my library. Then I read The Course of Love by Alain de Botton. Is that how you say it? This one is really relevant. I'm sure you know of the style of videos if you've seen Alain's like the School of Life videos. I don't know what he does at School of Life. Maybe it's his platform, I'm not sure, but I think he writes the videos and things. So it's in the same style. It's very like practical. It's very psychology driven. Essentially, the book talks about the course that love takes. Like once, okay, suppose you like find the person you want to be with, and then you get married, but then like what happens after that? Like, doesn't love transform after you've married this person, and doesn't having a baby and all that affect it? Basically, this is that book. It's gonna kind of like put in context and explain to you the reality of what love might be like once you do all the things that you're like supposed to do. Next, this is the book I'm reading. It's called The Midnight Library. The premise of this one is kind of like this library that exists between death and life, where you can explore all the different lives you could have lived had you made different choices, basically. So I will get back to you on a review on this book once I finish it. So that's it for my review on the books that I've read recently. I highly recommend you read Verity. I highly recommend you read Conversations with Normal People and The Course of Love. These are my top 3 recommendations to you. Next time maybe I can do a video on like beginner friendly books, because I know a lot of you message me saying that I want to get into reading books, but can you recommend some that I would actually enjoy? So maybe I can do that. Let me know if you would like that. I also think I should try to do more There's More to Shay videos, because it's kind of nice to just sit and talk about random things. Let me know if you'll enjoy that. Also, you can follow me on Goodreads. I will link my account in the description box. And yeah, I will see you next week, hopefully with a vlog, because I am shooting a vlog through all this, so hopefully that. And subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye.